Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol HYLN, Hyliion Holdings Corp. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And let's jump into this chart. So Hyliion Holdings Corp has actually had a run. We were watching it. There was a lot of indicators indicating that that was about to come. We started watching around this area. It slightly dropped. And again, it was starting to show high indications that this could work its way back up, broke through the resistance and worked its way up to highs here of about 1875, I would say, give or take 74. And from that point forward, we've hit a peak. It started to fall down. It's hit new lows. It broke through support at 1750, and you can clearly see here that 1750 turned into a resistance after being turned into once it was a support, it broke down into newer lows and it tried coming back up and it was turned into a resistance after once being a support. That's what I meant to say. And you could see that here based off the chart, how basically the stock had trouble breaking back through support there, and it was one of the resistance levels formed and it continued to hit newer lows. So we're going to look at this very closely. 1750 is a very important point right now for the bulls to break through, but we're going to move our support and resistance to its new location and see where the 50-day moving average is and what's going on with this chart, because this chart had a quick run up and it's starting to work its way down fairly quickly. So a lot of profit taking going on here for sure, and also cutting losses. People that were in earlier in higher numbers and stating, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and cut my loss here. It went down to 15 and, I got in around 19 and I'm going to lose about $1 instead of, $4 per share. So there's a lot of that going on. Like a lot of investors were cutting losses, or the ones that got in on time and started to take profits. That's what's going on with this chart right now. Now, it's slightly leveled off. It's in bearish territory, and we're going to look at some different things. So interesting enough, yesterday's support turned into today's slight resistance, highest point of resistance. So I want every single investor to keep 1750 in mind. Super important point for the near term and the next coming weeks. Now the 50-day moving average is up here at 1758. I want every single investor to write that down. Anytime we're below that, we're in bearish territory. The moment we're above that, we're in bullish territory. So super important to keep that in mind. Here the rating is showing that it's a sell. So when we go to technicals here, it's showing sell for the 1 day. It's showing the oscillators here are saying buy. The 1 week is showing sell, sell, strong sell. And when you go to the 1 month, there's only one saying buy and the others are saying sell. The moving averages and the summary overall. The 1 week is definitely showing signs of sell. So we need to watch this closely for the next coming week. And how quickly it starts moving down. Does it get closer to those lows that we recently saw? And where is this chart going, right? And then when you go to the 1 day, only one of them is showing buy, and the summary and the moving averages are showing sell and strong sell. Now, I don't usually use these technicals, but they are helpful, and they do show some sense of what the chart is showing. But you always want to do your due diligence and research. You want to look at the chart yourself like we analyze here, our resistance and supports, to have an idea of how quickly this is moving down and where it's going, because those technicals can change based off of the behavior of the chart quickly within hours or minutes or in a day. So it's good to have it there to have an idea. But something interesting is volume. Volume is pretty low and it's been going downwards. Volume has been low and it's going downwards. I find that to be very interesting. So let's go ahead and see here our support. And I want us to break this chart down to the T if this continues to work its way down. So the first thing is, our first support to keep in mind is 1626, right? You want to write that down. 1626, lowest point where this leveled off and started to run up. And the lowest point reached was 1537. Those are the 2 points you want to keep in mind for the next coming weeks, because those are the lowest lows we've seen. 1626 is the lowest low before running up, and continuing the run. And then the lowest point was 1537, 36, 38, give or take, anywhere in that area. But to be exact, right here at 1537, that's the lowest point we've seen. And you want to keep that number in mind to know where this is going and how quickly this is moving downwards. So we saw our 50-day moving average is 1758. Our support currently, which is the lowest point reached in this bearish run, is 1680. You want to keep that in mind and pay very close attention to how the stock is reacting. If it breaks through this point fairly quickly, or are the bulls trying to reappear? Because keep in mind, we are in bearish territory. And if we break through the support, we're getting deeper into bearish territory to hit newer lows and new support levels. So I want every single investor to be aware of that and pay very close attention to how the stock is reacting at 1680 and how quickly it breaks through it. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance. And I want us to look at this closely, but we have two resistance levels to break through, and we have the 50-day moving average to break through. So very, very important to keep this in mind. So our current resistance here within the last couple hours of the day, and slight recovery here where the bulls have reappeared, but volume isn't that high compared to the volume previously in the day, is 1721. 1721 needs to be broken through, turn into a support, but if the bulls break through this, it does not signify or guarantee that the bulls will break through the 50-day moving average and get above it. 1721 needs to be turned into a support, and that way the bulls can actually break away from it and start to work their way up closer to the 50-day moving average. This is just an indicator for us investors to know that the momentum is continuing. If the bulls can turn it into a support or break away from it significantly, they could continue to hit newer highs and new resistance levels, but it does not guarantee that the bulls are going to break through the 50-day moving average. It just gets them closer to it. And I want every single investor to be aware of that. 1758 and 57, give or take, that's the most important point to break through, to reach back into bullish territory and reach newer highs and get out of bearish territory. So I want every single investor to be aware of that as well. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watch this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. And in that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on scheduled dates. As you see here on the graph, these circles are the dates that the pumps have happened, and I use them as examples to show you guys how much the stocks have risen and the S&P 500 index rose on those dates. And the reason why it's rising is due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. On these dates, the charts and the dates speak for themselves, as we can see it here, and I break it down into more detail in the video. But just to summarize it, on these dates, the S&P 500 rises, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it, anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it may not seem like a lot, but per share that does add up, and these individual ticker symbols are giving you back profits. These are profits, and like I always say, profits are profits. Whether it's $1 put into the market and you get back $2, you've put in an initial investment and you got back more than what you started with. That's what it's all about. And also in the video, I go into further detail showing you guys these dates and showing you how much it rose. Like, for example, this was one of the last pump dates, and the lowest point that it reached was down here at 35.11, and the highest point reached was 35.57. That's like a 40-point jump. And here we're seeing the same thing. It went down to 35.88, and it rose up to about, I'd say, let's see, this is all still in the same day. It rose up to about a total amount of 36.23. When you do the math, that's almost a 40 to 50 point jump, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with this. Now, I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just here to inform every single investor on the great news, on the opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. You have to do your due diligence and research, but these charts and the dates speak for themselves. I mean, this was probably one of the largest jumps that I've seen in the last couple of pumps, and it was down here at 33.02 and it rose up to about 33.88. That was an 80-point jump. There was probably ticker symbols rising up more than $3 per share on those dates. And even on these dates, there's individual ticker symbols rising more than $3 per share. Check it out, see for yourselves. And my best advice is look for ticker symbols that may be resembling the behavior of the S&P 500 index, and you'll be able to go ahead and give it a shot. Check it out. Again, I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm just here to go ahead and share the information along with every single viewer and investor. The video should be popping up soon. If you haven't seen it already, pop up. There is the link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.